Take a deep breath, because right here are the 25 most dangerous roads in the world that will test your driving skills. Here, these death roads don't just challenge your driving abilities, they test your courage as well. This is when the cliff edge is only a few centimeters from your tires, and your driving skills are the ticket that determines your survival at impossible places. A single mistake could send your tires tumbling into bottomless ravines. So what are you waiting for? Join Hiderplanet as we venture through the world's most dangerous roads, where only the most experienced drivers dare to go. Skipper's Canyon Road, New Zealand. If you're looking for a heart-pounding, palm-sweating thrill, welcome to Skipper's Canyon Road in New Zealand. Imagine standing before a delicate, 22-kilometer-long ribbon of earth and rock, suspended between sheer cliffs and abysses. Along with many sections of road barely wide enough for one car. What if there's an oncoming car? Congratulations, one of you will have to reverse dozens of meters along the edge of a precipice. And the feeling of looking in the rearview mirror and seeing only empty space is a kind of experience that I believe no racetrack can teach you. Skipper's Canyon Road is not for the faint of heart or novice drivers. It's a test of character and skill. Waterfall Road, Manang, Nepal. This is no ordinary road. It's a survival challenge. Especially the sections where waterfalls cascade directly onto the road. Here, the concept of asphalt is a luxury. On this route, your wheels will frequently roll over slippery rocks right beneath the rushing waterfall. Just a little too much gas, and the wheels spin in the mud. Chicken out, and you're stuck right in the freezing water. The road is only wide enough for a jeep. On one side is a jutting limestone cliff. On the other is the deep gorge of the Marsyangdi River. Driving Waterfall Road in Manang is like gambling with fate. Right wheels inches from the edge. Himalayan waterfall pounding the hood. You've never been more wide awake. Zojila Pass, Pakistan. If you ask me what it feels like to drive in Zojila, I'd sum it up in one sentence. It's like dancing with death on a thin line. With the terrain here, and don't expect smooth asphalt roads in the middle of impossible places. At an altitude of approximately 3,528 meters, this road is essentially a narrow, rugged strip of rocky land winding precariously along the mountainside. On one side is a sheer cliff ready to scrape your rearview mirror. And on the other side is an unguarded abyss, a single 10-centimeter misstep, and you'll understand what free fall feels like. In winter, there are stretches of road where snow forms towering cliffs on either side, making you feel like you're driving in a giant freezer. BR 319, Brazil. When the rainy season arrives, the road surface completely disappears, giving way to mud pits up to the car's sides. Driving skills here aren't just about steering, but about the ability to read the mud. You have to maintain a steady throttle and feel the grip of the tires and pray that the undercarriage doesn't get stuck in the thick layer of clay. Just a split second of hesitation, and you'll be stranded in the jungle for weeks. No cell signal, no roadside assistance. If your car breaks down, you're stuck relying on the rare, brave truck drivers passing by or fixing it yourself. Cliffhanger Road. This is a narrow, rugged strip of rock running along the edge of a gorge hundreds of meters deep. Just a split second of inattention or an oversteer, and your reward will be the abyss of Cane Springs Gorge. The feeling of a sheer cliff on one side and a deep, unguarded ravine on the other. Driving through this stretch, I honestly didn't dare look left. It felt like the car was tilting toward the drop, my palms soaked in sweat. This is when you learn to trust your suspension and tires completely. Impossible places. Don't expect a smooth ride. Cliffhanger is full of rocky steps, 30 to 50 centimeters high. You can't just floor the gas pedal to get through it. It requires crawling technique. Aranaco Highway roads. Is there anyone among you brave enough to drive through these curves without guardrails? With the sheer cliffs of the majestic Himalayas on one side and a deep abyss leading straight down to the turbulent Sunkosi River on the other. Just when you're loving those few kilometers of silky smooth asphalt, bam! You're right back in deep mud and boulder-strewn mess from a landslide. During the rainy season, this road transforms into a giant waterfall. Water cascades down the cliff face, hitting the car's roof while the wheels below teeter on the edge of the precipice. G errors here are measured in millimeters, and the price paid often comes with no second chance. Bayburt D 915, Turkey. Connecting the districts of Off and Bayburt. It was built manually by Russian soldiers in 1916 during wartime. with a length of approximately 106 kilometers and an altitude of over 2,000 meters above sea level. The most terrifying section is the Deribasha Pass, where you have to navigate 29 consecutive hairpin bends without any guardrails. The road is so narrow that if a car comes the other way, one of you has to reverse hundreds of meters right next to a deadly drop. Every hairpin turns so tight, you have to crank the wheel full lock and pray the front tire doesn't slip over the edge of the rocky drop. Patiopolo Perdikaki Road. Greece. You think this is a smooth paved road? No, most of it is dirt, rocks, and gravel. The extremely low traction means the car is constantly on the verge of veering off course. With the elevation change from 700 meters to 1,160 meters in a short distance, my car's engine was constantly roaring, and the brakes were always on edge. The sharp bends appear constantly, and you never know whether there's an oncoming truck or a herd of goats leisurely strolling behind that bend. And when traveling at night or in the rain, the difficulty is multiplied tenfold due to mud and zero visibility. Los Caracoles Pass, Chile. Imagine looking at a tangled rope coiled on a sheer cliff face. That's Los Caracoles. This road is famous for its sharp turns, so steep you feel like the back of the truck in front of you is about to scrape your windshield. What do you think of this road without guardrails? Let hiderplanet know in the comments below. And most of the most treacherous bends lack a solid median barrier. One small mistake and you'll have a free fall into the valley. It's a true test of concentration, throttle control, and respect for nature amidst impossible places. Fairy Meadows Road, Pakistan. As soon as your Jeep's wheels roll off the Karakoram highway, the asphalt disappears. In its place are jagged rocks and a narrow road, barely wide enough for one vehicle. On one side, a sheer cliff juts out, as if to swallow the car's roof. On the other, a bottomless abyss with no guardrails. Your hands will grip the steering wheel so tightly that your knuckles will turn white. Each hairpin bend brings the wheels right to the cliff's edge, kicking loose stones hundreds of feet down to the murky Indus far below. Here, brakes matter less than torque control and staying calm. Or you have to trust the old World War II era Jeep and trust your own instincts. North Yungas Road, Bolivia. What would happen if the road you're traveling on was only about 3 meters wide? Imagine you're driving a pickup truck downhill with a sheer cliff on your left and a 600-meter bottomless drop on your right. No guardrails at all. A single 5 centimeters oversteer could literally change your life. In Bolivia, people drive on the right, but in North Yungas, cars going downhill must hug the edge of the cliff between impossible places. Why? So that drivers can clearly see how far their wheels are from the cliff. Stelvio Pass, Italy. As soon as you begin climbing the slope from the Prato side, you'll face 48 sharp, numbered curves. Each curve is a test of your steering skills and clutch/brake control. The higher up, the bigger the pressure. At 2,758 meters, my engine began laboring hard from oxygen shortage. This wasn't just a challenge for the driver, but also a test of endurance for your iron steed. This isn't the place to test speed. This is the place to test composure and precision, down to the centimeter. Trollstigen, Norway. This is where your skills are put to the test with a 10% gradient. The engine will roar continuously. You need to be extremely sensitive to shifting gears and controlling the throttle. This road has a total of 11 extremely sharp turns. Each time you turn, the rear of the car feels like it's about to fly off the cliff. You'll find yourself turning the steering wheel all the way while keeping your eyes glued to the convex mirror to watch out for oncoming buses. There are sections barely wide enough for one car. You're requiring careful maneuvering and precise alignment down to the centimeter. A slight misstep, and you'll crash into the cliff, or worse, look down into an abyss with no sturdy guardrails. Guoliang Tunnel Road, China. The first feeling upon entering this tunnel is one of suffocation. This isn't a modern structure with dazzling LED lights, but a handcrafted masterpiece, carved by hand by 13 local villagers. The tunnel is only about 5 meters high and 4 meters wide. When two cars are going in opposite directions, it's a real battle of wits. You have to inch along, aligning every centimeter so you don't scrape the undercarriage on jagged rocks or mirror to mirror with oncoming traffic. The road is far from smooth. Vibrations from the tires jolt through the steering wheel, are reminding you that beneath the thin layer of gravel lies a drop of over 100 meters. Simpson Desert, Australia. Here you'll face over 1,100 sand dunes running parallel from north to south, the most famous of which is Big Red, the 40-meter-high monster. It's a combination of momentum-building technique and keen tire pressure awareness. You gotta drop the tire pressure insanely low to maximize contact patch. Too fast and you'll fly the chassis. Too slow and you'll drown in the fine sand. The vehicles ahead create deep ruts in impossible places. If your vehicle has poor ground clearance, the underside of your car will scrape against the sand until all four wheels spin wildly in the air. Sichuan-Tibet Highway, China. Starting in Chengdu and ending in Lhasa, this road is not for the faint of heart. You will have to cross more than 10 mountains over 4,000 meters high, where the air is so thin that every breath feels heavy. With its 72-mile-high curve, this is the most terrifying specialty. Viewed from above, it resembles a giant, winding snake. Descending the pass here is torture for your braking system and requires intense concentration. Just a split second of inattention, and the abyss below is ready to engulf you. There are stretches of dreamy smooth asphalt, but right after that, it's mud, big rocks, and meltwater streams cutting straight across the road. Dalton Highway, USA. Never skimp on renting a four-wheel drive vehicle and always carry at least 2 spare tires. In Dalton, a flat tire isn't a problem, it's an initiation ritual. The Atagun Pass Extreme Challenge is the final boss of the trip. You'll cross the Brooks Range at over 4,700 feet. On one side is a sheer cliff, on the other, a bottomless abyss. Your steering wheel will vibrate violently due to the slippery road surface. Just a split second of inattention or sudden braking, and gravity will do the rest. Yungas Road, Bolivia. The first feeling when you start descending from over 4,000 meters into the tropical forest is pure overwhelm. On one side is a sheer cliff, on the other, a chasm up to 600 meters deep with no guardrails whatsoever. Just a split second of inattention or an oversteer, and heaven and hell are separated by only a tire's width. The road surface is slippery due to fog and waterfalls cascading directly down from the mountaintops. The dense fog characteristic of the Amazon region can swallow everything in front of you in seconds. Frozen Lake Highway roads. Imagine that in front of you isn't the glossy black asphalt, but a murky, cracked, grayish-blue ribbon of ice. Beneath your tires is a thick block of ice, but beneath that ice lies the deep, dark waters of the polar region. Driving on an icy lake isn't controlling a machine, it's negotiating with it. Just a slight press of the accelerator or a sudden brake, and the car spins like a giant top. You're no longer in control of your direction. You're simply praying for the inertia to stop at the right moment. Rohtang Pass, India. With sheer cliffs on one side and a bottomless abyss on the other, there's no barrier. The road is so narrow that a single misstep will send your wheels kissing through the air. Don't expect smooth asphalt. You'll face muddy stretches of road and making your car slide like it's dancing on ice. Even more surprisingly, in just 10 minutes of driving, a clear blue sky can turn into a thick fog, reducing your visibility to less than 2 meters. At this point, driving skill is only 50% of the equation. The other 50% depends on intense concentration and luck. If you could choose a companion to help you navigate the Rohtang Pass, who would you trust to drive? Kishtwar Kilar Road, India. This isn't a highway. Even calling it a road is an exaggeration. It's more like a rough, gravelly stretch, so narrow that only one car can pass at a time. There are sections where cliffs jut out directly above your car, giving you the feeling that the mountain could collapse at any moment. Forget the white and red guardrails. Here, between your wheels and the abyss, is only a few centimeters of sand and dust. Driving here is a blend of extreme exhilaration and primal fear. There are incredibly sharp hairpin turns where you never know what's ahead until you've already turned the steering wheel. Two cars meet head-on, a road under 3 meters wide. One backs up, and your reverse driving skill suddenly becomes a life or death matter. James W. Dalton Highway, USA. This road was built to serve the oil field, so you won't be facing cars, but rather massive 18-wheel trucks. As they speed past, rocks rain down and dust obscures your vision for a few fateful seconds. Atigun Pass is the highest point of the route. A small mistake, a chasm awaits below. The terrifying slopes, coupled with perpetual ice and snow, even in the middle of summer, will make your steering wheel vibrate violently. And to survive and return, driving skills alone are not enough. You need composure to handle skidding on muddy terrain and thorough preparation. The Dalton has no place for amateurs or timid drivers. Pamir Highway. It's a road that greets you with potholes, boulders, and precarious dirt paths clinging to the edge of a chasm. As you begin to leave Osh or Dushanbe, the modern world disappears. You don't drive with your eyes, you drive with your whole body, feeling the grip of the tires on the loose, rocky terrain. hairpin bends here have no guardrails, steep cliff on one side, raging Panj River on the other, the Afghan border right there. One slip up and the cost is deadly. This journey is for adventurous dreamers who want to rediscover themselves amidst the vast expanse of Central Asia. Lahana Highway, USA. This road features 620 hairpin bends, mostly blind corners and sharp turns. You'll be constantly turning the steering wheel, feeling like you're working out your arms at the gym. And of the 59 bridges, 46 of them have only a single lane. This creates a very unique driving culture. You have to stop, flash your lights, observe, and yield to each other. A moment of impatience here can lead to hours of traffic jams, or worse, a collision right on the edge of a cliff. And never rely too heavily on the brakes on steep inclines. Learn to use lower gears to slow the car down. Kolyma Highway, Russia. Stretching over 2,000 kilometers, connecting Magadan and Yakutsk, the Kolyma is not for inexperienced drivers or flashy city cars. In winter, temperatures can drop to minus 50 degrees Celsius or lower. At this level, steel can be as brittle as a biscuit. And what if your car breaks down in the middle of the road? That's a real life or death situation. There are sections where your hands grip the steering wheel so tightly that they turn white because the car starts to slide sideways on the thin layer of ice. And on those roads, would you dare to cross them? Drop your answer in the comments for hiderplanet, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Skipper's Canyon Road, New Zealand. If you're looking for a heart-pounding, palm-sweating thrill, welcome to Skipper's Canyon Road in New Zealand. Imagine standing before a delicate, 22-kilometer-long ribbon of earth and rock, suspended between sheer cliffs and abysses. Along with many sections of road, barely wide enough for one car. What if there's an oncoming car? Congratulations, one of you will have to reverse dozens of meters along the edge of a precipice. And the feeling of looking in the rearview mirror and seeing only empty space is a kind of experience that I believe no racetrack can teach you. Skipper's Canyon Road is not for the faint of heart or novice drivers. It's a test of character and skill. Waterfall Road, Manang, Nepal. This is no ordinary road. It's a survival challenge. Especially the sections where waterfalls cascade directly onto the road. Here, the concept of asphalt is a luxury. On this route, your wheels will frequently roll over slippery rocks right beneath the rushing waterfall. Just a little too much gas, and the wheels spin in the mud. Chicken out, and you're stuck right in the freezing water. The road is only wide enough for a jeep. On one side is a jutting limestone cliff. On the other is the deep gorge of the Marsyangdi River. Driving Waterfall Road in Manang is like gambling with fate. Right wheels inches from the edge. Himalayan waterfall pounding the hood. You've never been more wide awake.